Hello and welcome to another video where we're looking at parsing, doing a VT500 series parser. Currently we're looking at the mouse stuff of it, which is potentially like an extension to this, but for the usage I want, this is kind of what we want to work on. So perhaps I shall get into the project. So I've got a few things in the pipeline. So since main, I've done a few things. Perhaps I'll go through them. So we can do some kind of maybe magic here. I think if I do something like that, except like maybe do 3 dots, or I can keep that, or I can do the dot the other end. I always forget the order. It's from 2, so I guess it kind of makes sense. So what I can do here is I can perhaps just get the first thing. Maybe I can just do perhaps this will work. No, we do need to. So the good thing about awk, we get awk, it's kind of awkwardly between two things, is it kind of splits on every white space, so that kind of does the trick. But there's multiple ways you can kind of do this. You can explicitly split on a space and get the first thing, and so you can cut it, and you can kind of see that actually lines up roughly with the same number of characters. Like the awk is actually slightly longer, and this can be slightly shorter, like that, and that can happen and gets the same thing, and it's shorter than the awk, but you kind of need to know that it's a space, and sometimes it's a tab. You never know. Anyhow, I'm kind of rambling. What I want to do is kind of get this and maybe reverse it, and like all of this you can likely do in here, where you can just get format equals and something. So maybe I'll actually look up what the format is and remind myself on format, because you should be able to kind of yeah. So format, pretty format. Just search for that, I guess. Formats, formats, so you can do that sort of thing. So is it just like kind of angle brackets around the thing, and we just want the hash? Is that kind of what I might want to do? Format string. No, I do need these hashes. So this is color stuff. So I'm just reading the manual. Well, skimming the manual. I think I've read some of it before. So percent age. That's all I kind of wanted to get out of that little session. And yeah, I can kind of get that. And we can reverse that, and we can do the origin, the main, and you can get the full 5. And there's probably like I posit a guess that the lowercase h gets the short one. Both are fine. What I really want to do is I don't really. I think I just want to do this. I was thinking, how can I reverse it? But there's a reverse flag in it. But I think what I want to do is kind of just do this and kind of talk through the changes I've done. Gosh, what a rambler. So what I've done is done a little bit of tidying up, and I think the git stash, it's got some stuff going on with it, so we can commit that up as well. But looking through this, what I have done is maybe I think this kind of worked better for kind of quick-ish scrolling. It's a bit gross with the mouse. It's probably bad for compression. So what I've done is kind of added both a file descriptor as an integer and also a open file. And you can do that with fdopen, which will happen at some point. This is doing some stuff. I changed it for some reason. Yeah, so that's no longer using variadic arguments. That's kind of 2-in-1 type thing. No longer using variadics. This is now passing in the file descriptor. Well, it's kind of passing in the same thing. It's passing in the int file descriptor. And then here we also pass in the int file descriptor. Here we're also probably passing in the int file descriptor. Same. Well, here we can actually fclose, and fclose, if we look at the old manual for fclose, it explicitly says flushes the stream and closes the underlying file descriptor. So to me, that kind of, no, I think it was in fdopen. We'll just read this for a second. So fdopen, maybe we'll search for fclose, or maybe we'll search for fclose here. Was it in here though? I just didn't see it. Closes the underlying file descriptor. So to me, I guess that kind of means that I don't need to do the close of the FD. But it kind of depends on this. Will be closed. The file descriptor is, yeah, this is where I read it. The file descriptor is not duped and will be closed when the stream created by fdopen is closed. So I don't need to do the close. That's kind of what I am kind of doing. I have it commented just so I can see. Maybe I should have it commented with a little comment saying why. This is all just kind of name changes. Here's the magic. So I use fdopen on the int file descriptor and open it for write mode. I only need to write to the TCY. We're reading elsewhere with select and whatnot. And the whole point of this is, I feel like I've scrolled to the next commit. The whole point of this was so I could do like a printf in keys, which will come in this new method that's getting introduced in this one. So I kind of make a new structure for the mouse that's the same as what is there, and put it there. Easy there, just boilerplate for what print mouse is going to do, and it takes a file stream, so I can print it to standard error. I can also print it somewhere else, like a that's fdopen file, like what I do here. So that's kind of the whole point of that fdopen patch, and then that's kind of just do this. This is so when we're no, not that. When we are in here and doing this, and if I go out, we need to redirect to for the time being. And if I'm running dash minus I kind of want to make a bash like. So you can have things like, if I open up this, if I do SL, I have a slow locomotive that I kind of control C. I kind of have to sit back and watch. And I also have a GTI for a car that kind of races apart and then runs Git. And the SL also does an LS. I can't recall if it does. Perhaps it doesn't. It kind of looks like it doesn't. Nah, it doesn't. But yeah, I kind of want to make it marsh, and maybe it'll like show a sheep or something. I don't know, I'm in a silly mood at the moment. Anyhow, if I run bash like this, it doesn't run. That is because I have a script that kind of runs a backup and it kind of destroys the do I have a make in this thing? No, so if I open up the source, I have I was testing some 0 days of them there. Now, if I kind of run this, I believe if I do like Control R and then like up again, or like if I try and type something into the Control R, yeah, that kind of did it. And if I did like ID and like maybe who am I, and then if I like go up twice, that kind of fails with things. And what it's doing is kind of adding in random functions that kind of need to get made. So here I'm kind of starting to do some of the ones that it wanted, which was escape M, which is also known as reverse line feed. And so I kind of add it to my list of escape functions, so a big list of escape functions, takes a character. So I've got the hex and the ASCII just for human reference. Here I'm calling it the reverse. I don't know why it's RI, but that's what it is in the old documentation. And yeah, somewhere. Here's the long text for this humans, reverse line feed, and then here, reverse line feed, we're calling this function down here. So this is kind of copy paste of everything else, kind of get everything set up. Perhaps like this boilerplate could get put into some macro or something. I don't know, make it a little easier to see what the logic of things are, but here's the kind of logic, these three here. Reverse line feed, we kind of, if we are on the bottom, if we're on the top, we scroll down so we have an extra line, and then we subtract one from the cursor. This VT scroll adds one to the cursor, so we come to, so after this, after any of these statements, there's a precondition that y is greater than or equal to 1. It should be kind of held true. Don't actually check for it anywhere, but it is what it is. And then we set dirty to true, so it kind of redraws everything. And we added one. We've got a random number, which is kind of nice maybe to see how many things we have. Here I have added some of the mouse reporting. So I mentioned in the last episode that there's like all these different types, and my program actually accepts this one, so I know how to parse this and kind of put it into a mouse effect. I mean, you just need to read this. And I also know how to read this, so this is kind of what I started at. This has a limitation that has a max range of 223. So if you had if I open up a terminal, and if I had a really small terminal, like I can go there, and you can hardly see, but I don't know, maybe I have like this kind of thing, and this might do some things. Whoa, that looks really weird, but this is a aquarium, which will perhaps make itself more apparent. But the thing is, if I have a terminal this wide, mouse events wouldn't work in this. This is really slow, and I wonder if that was killing the video while we were doing things. We need to do that. So now this is adding, my program now passes on default mouse reporting if you are so wanting it. So what this is doing is this fprint mouse moved around a bit because it needed certain structures and whatnot. And here we just do a switch on the mouse reporting thing, which I mentioned last time. So if you have the default, I define a little encode thing. So this is what you do if it's greater than 223, just do a null byte. Otherwise you do 32 plus the number. So it comes out as like something that can be parsed. And here I get the button, which is a bunch of things, and it's got some ruling for what the encoded value of buttons are, and that's kind of what this thing is. So if it's the top two, then it's kind of shifted up by 4. And if it's this, then when I say top 2, I mean like 4 and 8, which would be like the top 2 bits of a like nibble, the first half of the byte. And then if you have movement, then it adds 32 onto that, and all the modifiers kind of add the right values for what it is. And we do like a little thing, we're just writing a little thing. And then we also print to the stream the default encoding, which is this escape open bracket M. So if you get an M straight away, then you do that. And kind of has some unimplemented there. So I think I want to kind of do this unimplemented, well, perhaps some of them. So some of them require UTF-8, which isn't like hard, but it's just something I don't have available right at this second. But if we kind of look at it, it is reasonably straightforward. So basically, if you have like 0 to this number here, then you basically define it, well, yeah, 0 to that number there. You define it like this, which like these digits kind of come from these digits here. So the Y and the Z, we have just the top 3, like the, yeah, I don't know. It makes sense. But then like when you get over, then you kind of have a, this is kind of saying that it is the bit. There's another table, I believe, which perhaps that was the table. But yeah, kind of this kind of has 2 1s, which means there's some more stuff. And this one had a 0, which means there's no more stuff. And you can see where the 0 kind of ends up, kind of goes over by 1 each time. And in any of the other ones, you just have 10, which if you have a 10, it kind of means you should go back until you find one with one of these 4. So you have one in the middle, which is just 10, which if you get that, you should go back. So any of these, you just go back until you find that, and then you find out, cool, this is a 1, 2, 3, or 4 byte thing. And then once you get that, you just reassemble or disassemble however you're going. That's UTF-8. So that's kind of what you need for this multi-byte. This format digits one, which is the one that I use, just kind of has a like you just write the digit in ASCII, which is quite useful. And there's also this mode here, which is used for UXVT. Used to use that a while back. So Also kind of changed some assertions, which I've now figured out were not quite right, and then I kind of did this one, which was it looks like magic, but it kind of makes sense. Magicness. And here we just have this. This is an extra case. So like if you're in this mode, the click tracking, which was just the click only, it's only the left, middle, and right mouse buttons. So that's this check here, which is if it's more than the right, which it's kind of making the assumption that the right is the max of enumeration, and left is the least, or left or middle. Left is the one, but it makes a bit of an assumption. And here we also change this to break from this whole thing, because reasons. I can't recall what it is. I think there's something that kind of happens after there, but we don't see it. So here I'm kind of just removing a bit of debugging. So I made some here statements an episode or two ago, and I'm just kind of commenting out this chunk of code that I keep commented because it can be useful to uncomment to see what the state machine is doing. And that's what I got up to. But I also have some stuff in here, and I might kind of look at it like that. So this, I am basically adding another function. So this mode potentially isn't as good, but a new function is appearing. So the other diff I had, if I perhaps go like that, you can see it a bit better. This delete character one is bold, so keep that in mind. Oh, as I find this one a bit better. So the delete character, we add that as a P. I haven't actually fully defined this, but perhaps I can do this now, because it is kind of unfinished. And here, I don't know why I kind of changed this. There was just some space in there. Delete character kind of just has nothing in, unimplemented. It was copied from delete line, which is also kind of unimplemented, but you may have noticed that this is failing on delete character. So that's when I'm in bash and I try and go up a few times after. It's kind of weird. Maybe if I'm on another line, or maybe it's only if I don't know what Bash's logic is, but I went up twice on each of those steps, and that last one is the one that kind of breaks it. That's a weird, like, spam message I got. But yeah, so that's what that does, and that. So I think I might just commit this whole thing up, even though it's got like some other stuff that's unrelated, but I might just add, look at it again this way. I'm always scared about doing get add dot if you have a get ignore file, which I don't have, but I also have untracked stuff, and kind of add all of that, which I didn't like. So commit dirty branch mainly boilerplate for bill chart. Cool. So that's that. What I might do is, I think I want not this, but this kind of layout source personal VT. And And we can probably even have something here, personal VT, can have something just kind of following that TMP file. And yeah, I don't really want to kind of make Bash kind of work fully. Perhaps I want to yeah, I think I've got this one. I've also got null, which yeah, I would have thought that would do that. So if I do that and Control C, yeah, cool, that does that. So perhaps I want to write a little program to kind of request things. So this is going to be a good thing that inside of the thing. Well, I guess now what we can do is we can do this sort of thing, and we can run a dot out again, which does the request for that. And this can go to like temp2 maybe, and then run null inside of that, and we can still kind of cancel that whole thing. That didn't work, and that is because we open up the T and tail minus F and temp2, we can see send mouse event in the digit format. And so I think what I need to do is actually do something like temp and bash minus C that. I think I need to do that. Yeah, now I'm getting kind of both. And so yeah, I can see some things. And then here we kind of want the aim of finding some stuff in here when it receives mouse events. And we can kind of test this. So if we go into VT and search for digits and this one. So if we kind of comment that, find that, and then comment that, and if we kind of make the program again, and if we do this now, I believe it should kind of work. And perhaps I will kind of do that. And there you can see the bottom one kind of emitted mouse key movement at there. And that's ignoring mouse event because it the null inside of it kind of is ignored. But this outer one, this is the one that is now writing mouse event in the default report, and it does that. So what I want to do is get it going. So I think we can do something like this and then search for, is that the only two places it's used? Right, where do we use format? Where do we use formatting, format mode? Do we have it on the, I feel like I haven't touched this code base in a while, but I have actually. Cool. So that's not what I want, that's what I want, but up here. So this is where I want to find. All right, so it kind of said it at the end. I kind of get it, and this is where I want it to be. So what I kind of want to do is perhaps almost just copy this and do something slightly different. So if we are doing this one, we want to just kind of send as variable length digit sequence in base 10. So I can kind of just send these as is, and we just need to track whether it's a press or movement or release. So I don't know, perhaps I could do that and do that. I think this will kind of need a that sort of thing. So here we can encode it just as anything. So let's not really worry about that. Let's bring that down one. So here we just need to kind of do this in digit report, and right here we kind of say it, but here I think we just need to kind of say it's a that instead, and here we just kind of say I don't know, redo that. Let's just do the lot, and then I don't know why I'm not going like that. Especially with the key that I'm doing. And then we kind of want to say this is C, which is going to be whichever one it is. And then here we can have button mouse dot column and mouse dot row. And here we want this to be mouse dot release. Is that like a thing that we had? And if it is mouse release, we want it to be M. Otherwise, we want it to be M, big M. And it doesn't like things. That's because I've got two of these. One needs to be that. So I think I can kind of just yank all of that, and then here we can almost do that, and we never had to encode anything. So, and I kind of note that this button stuff is perhaps better suited out here. Perhaps. What did it say about these buttons? Mouse button is just that. Right. So right, so the button, the encoded value, that's for UXVT. So it kind of says BTN. Set for click only tracking. I think that's kind of fine because Yeah. In only left, middle, and right must left, middle, and right. So you have 0, 1, and 2, which fits in the bits of 0, 1, 2. So it's kind of the same. So this is kind of moot. But yeah, we do this every time. Even for click only tracking, which it shouldn't really matter. But yeah, so I think that is a good kind of yoink out and kind of have that. And we can probably do something like that, maybe. And now I think if I kind of do that, right, so we can't compile things just yet because that's actually that, and that's that. We want that again. Not that one there. Cool. If I do that, so now we should have a point where we're writing in this kind of format here, and over here we should have a. Oh, this hasn't done what I kind of wanted. Yeah. So this we can't go that far. Ooh, maybe we want this to be like that. So what am I getting sent? Yeah, I might just kind of wave the mouse there. All right, wave mouse here. This isn't doing anything, I believe. Over here, so it's only when I'm in the gutter, it will do some things. And it's also when I'm in here. So I kind of want to do that and kind of scroll up and kind of see what's happened. So we got an E. I think we copied an E, a stray E. Did we? Yeah, we did. Copy a stray E, which would have screwed up a few things. So if we did this again now, hopefully that looks, yeah, so that's looking good. Mouse movement at there, we can do, and is that 28.1? That looks like 28.1. We've only got one row, but if we kind of increase 28.3, here we can go to like 50, and here it's doesn't know where it is. Interesting. I'm getting that null here, which I did put a alert out for, but yeah. And if we kind of hold a button, that kind of gets that, and it gets a press and a release. If we, I don't know what happened there. Maybe I was like a bit too close to there. If I click and drag, we're getting mouse movement with the left button held down, right. That we get a scroll wheel, cool. If I do control, we get control mouse event. If I do alt as well, easy. Super. No, we don't. Always kind of collect that one. Cool. So it's as easy as that, really. It's just kind of working out there. These other ones require UTF-8, I guess. So that could be something that could be interesting. But what I want to do first is perhaps in here we could, instead of running null, maybe we can run bash once and inside of here we can get, there's some version, I'll tell you that. So this is this is think not quite what I want, but we can kind of add that up now. It's interesting it didn't give color, but that's kind of the term cap database. You kind of need to lie to the programs to say what terminal you are, even if you support it. Like it's an odd thing. Like I've already supported it. I've got the support for color, but it's like, nah, you gotta be able to tell me that you support it somehow. Cool. So I move that red, and I do that, and that's that. Easy. So maybe we'll commit that up and send mouse in digit report. And so now kind of what I am kind of interested in is maybe getting this bash to work a bit better. So what we can do is maybe kind of get things a bit better, and we can maybe just do bash minus I. And so we can not go up two things. We get this unimplemented delete character. Easy. So what we might do is, can we maybe search for rec minus? It's like just at the bottom. I just need to scroll up one and maybe like have this over by one. Yeah. Cool. So if we go to 151, we own this delete character. We don't know how to do it. We kind of copied it delete line. If I go to, I think this one had the, so this one has delete line. So one or more line in the scrolling region. But this isn't really what I want. I want a delete character to start with. So if I do DCH, I believe they called it. It's struggling finding it. And can we limit that down to a few less? This looks like the one. Just all right. So first things to know, you've got a grid. We can kind of see the grid if we kind of run this. We can't even. That just died straight away. I wonder what's. Yeah, perhaps I want that mode to do a thing. Like, what do I do on a mouse? Hard to know. But what I can do is kind of just run something underneath. So we've got a grid, and so basically, if we have delete character, we can. So I just need to not touch the mouse. If we have a bunch of characters and it goes over multiple lines like that, and say if we're here and we want to delete character, which we could potentially kind of simulate by CSI, then 1p or just default, so that's like escape that then p, and it doesn't know how to do it, and we can see delete character. My point is that if we are like here and we have things here, and Maybe if we're like all the way. Interesting that that doesn't do that. I wonder if home and end work. I can't recall if I did that. So say if we're here and we wanted to delete two characters, it would just touch the mouse and it dies. We don't really want it to overflow into the next line. That's kind of what it's describing. So once we get to the line ending, well, we can kind of just detect how many characters we have left and then only delete that many. So I guess that might be what I might do. So if param is greater than buffer, and I believe buffer has a width, perhaps if it's greater than equal to, because we're like 1 indexed, and there will be 0 indexed. So I think if it's greater than, then we kind of want it to equal that. So that kind of clamps it to there. And at this point here, we can just hold a sec and put in the right function to delete character. So if we want to delete stuff, how do we normally go about doing it? Do we kind of just do a mem set? We yeah, this is actually kind of doing it. Arrays in line is right. So this is what it's different at. Yeah, so as you delete the characters, it kind of shifts the other ones down. So what I think I can do, so I might kind of grab that, and I might actually grab that. So raise in line, I might kind of maybe do a little search for, yeah, erase in a line, and kind of search for this, so from the cursor through to the ends of the line. So that's kind of what I want to steal this first case, and it's got a odd kind of extra indent there, but we will persevere with that. So I kind of want to get this, and so we want to delete from us, and it's kind of 0 indexed at the moment. And here we don't want it to be less than width, we just want it to be less than param, and then we can do that. And the y is just going to be that. This kind of looks good. So we kind of clear the attributes, and then we kind of want to shift them down. So can we do a mem move? Is that a thing? And mem move, the memory can't overlap. It's not. It's, when it's first copied into a temporary array, that doesn't overlap. Oh no, this is it can move. I think I want um, mem copy, and so the mem copy is going to go to the desk, and this is probably only if param is less than the width. If that's the case, then we'll do some things. So if we do this, we'll copy to the start of, well, we'll copy to the current pointer of where it is. And I guess like we could do something like the cursor plus this is going to be around, so it will kind of, if we have a param of 1, let me kind of do this. We can't do it just yet because I've done that. I should add a flag to not care. I think this is what I kind of want. So where I want to copy it from, and how many I want to copy is going to be similar to this, I guess. So it's going to be the size of the cell. It's going to be the width minus param plus 1, I guess. Hmm. We can do some testing. And then we want to mem set. Because is this like, let me find my other one. They move to the left and the attributes move with the characters. So we would just want to then mem set the basically that with that, I think. Is that kind of what I kind of want? Let me do some testing with, we can just kind of run this. Yeah, cool. So we can kind of test some things. So if we are here and we go set that, then P was it? We get a exam, folks. Cool. So what is it? We min copy param overlap. Hmm. I don't want to do like a diff here min copy, and this is going to be a pointer. This is going to be a pointer, and this is going to be a size. And then do something like that. Maybe do something like that, and Warner go. Yeah, that's what I want, and then I want that. Thanks. and that can just kind of stay as is. So I kind of want to do that exact possible. And now if we do this, and now I just, even if like, what if I try just from here, escape that, and then P just for, but we still have that problem. But we should have a mem copy. So it kind of wants to do quite a large number of bytes. And I think I want to do map size of times that, and then only really do the that. Yeah, I think that is roughly what I want. And then, so now if we are in here and we go scan that P, we still get a crash, but hopefully we get a crash that has a size of 45. So do we expect size of 45? Potentially that was right, but what if I go all the way to the end? This should probably not fail. It does still fail. How many did it want to copy? Why does it get 45 still? That doesn't seem right. So this param. So we kind of want to buffer X off that width, and then probably plus the param. Is that maybe what we want? So what I might do is kind of have that same setup. So we cursor dot sound. So maybe I'll reset this because it's not letting me do things. Right, so if I do this and if we get all the way to the end, and then on here we do that, you still get the crash. How many does it want to print at once? Just the one. That seems legit. So what I might do is kind of get that, and then wonder if that kind of do that, and then that, yeah, that kind of works. And then this probably needs this same. Oh, they didn't like it actually. Cool. So if we go all the way to the end, I would expect the A to kind of go. It didn't go, so I guess it didn't delete it, but this should have a mem copy size of 1. It's also interesting that it's trying to do the mem copy, because I feel like you're right on the edge. It shouldn't. Cursor.x plus param. Yeah, I think it wants to be something like that, and that's kind of taking into account the weird thing that I just worked out, which potentially isn't right. That's kind of what we'll do in finding out. What I might do is actually yoink this down and yoink this up, because I'm more interested in that output, and it's easier if there's less to kind of tab in. So if we do 1 there, it doesn't do much. Cool. So why didn't it do this? So it kind of freed the attribute. So I think what I could do is, as a test, if I did escape open and 41 in lowercase m q, lowercase m. So if I do that from the get go, so you can see here we have that cursor that is like that. Interesting that that cross highlighted just there, but that's aesthetic issue. So if we now go escape, yeah, that got through, and then that, and then P, I would have thought that it would have cleared the this attribute, and the set free does that that it does array free and array free array free, it does clear, and it sets the data and stuff to null. So I'm kind of, that should be legit. So then anything that tries to look at it, aye. Cool. So I kind of want to think about what I want mouse to do on just the default thing, because I kind of want to be able to log mouse movements as well, if that kind of makes sense. Well, like log everything, like potentially show it in the gutter on the right or down the bottom, like, oh, I did this, I did this, I did this, to show what your keystrokes are, I guess, and mouse strokes. So were we just deleting the wrong things? No, we just scroll down. So this is going from the current cursor all the way up to param. And now param, this is cursor.x plus param. That's how many more you want to go. And that's a cursor. Undo that. Cool. So if we do this, and so now if I do the that's the mouse. Yeah. So if I get some keys up on the thing, so if I go P, it didn't clear it. Didn't clear it at all. Would have thought that it would. So I guess what I want to do here is printf. Perhaps I can do that and ignore that pop up. I was waiting for it. It's how do we want to get there? Oh, we can do that. Look at that. Look at that. Cool. So I wonder whether it does that set clear. So this doesn't like that because we need to say it's going to scan error. or we're not allowed to do that. Can we take a pointer to that whole thing and just kind of work it out? So if we get some color on, we get up to there, and we there. So that did some set frees. It did two of them, which is interesting. I just realized this probably needs to. Can we get that a bit bigger? So this probably needs to go buffer 30 equals it did some things. Potentially that's do something like that, get to end, and then if we do that, still did two frees, kind of interesting. So when we moved over, it did kind of reset it, if that kind of made sense. So it did clear the attribute, but it hasn't kind of cleared the I guess we need to do at least. What am I thinking here? Because if you got stuff to copy, which is kind of what's here, then you want to shift it over. But if you don't have anything to copy, then you kind of want to make sure that everything's freed. So I think I want to do a mem set here. It's kind of a little gross, but and like perhaps I can go like to do something like that. Oh no. What about yeah, what about no, like yeah, go back to there, but then do something like that. Yeah, cool. And then do that and do that and take a pointer to that whole nonsense. Didn't want to do that. And we can set the null byte, and we can set that to be the size of what do we call the size of that buffer cells? Yeah, so it's just the pointer to buffer to cells. And we need another close that off. And so now when we do those two set frees, we get two things. So I think it is doing a bit too much. But we can see. So if we're here and we kind of clear that, it cleared the thing, and it's still showing red because the current attribute is red. But if we kind of fill in something, it took us to the next place. I feel like we should update cursor pending if this is the case. So we have this notion of cursor pending. Well, first off, I kind of want to maybe kind of do that and see what happens if we delete two. So we can do 2 and we do 2 and we get a C file. That's useful to know. That kind of means that we're doing the mem copy stuff and we're doing it wrong. So we were trying to do 5 things after freeing 3 things. It's quite odd that we're... I suppose because this has... I think I want to do that, and then because of that, I need to kind of subtract off 1 there, and also there, so there. I mean, it kind of fits with the Y, but yeah, I think that's roughly that. So if we had 1 thing, which is the default, then this would kind of match. Then we're not freeing as much. So it was freeing, I think what was happening was if we did this setup here, if we had something down on we had something down there, I think it probably would have been overridden before. But now if we kind of do that, it kind of does things. And if we, like say maybe here we try and delete 2, maybe here we try and delete, maybe here try and delete 2, yeah. It should shift everything over. Yeah, I'll try here. Cool. Cool. So I was trying to do 2, it was trying to do 6. So that 6 doesn't quite seem right. So let's check on that math. So the difference between these two is what I thought we wanted to do, and is that kind of what I'm doing here? Not quite. I think I need to do that, and in which case we can find that and do that, and maybe do the same there and see if it just kind of works out of the box. So if we did something like that, we have something on the next page. We can just delete 1. That kind of works. If we're here, we can do 2. I feel like that was a bit greedy. So when I'm here and I'm doing 2, that just gave a sig file. Maybe I was a bit further in. So it's trying to do 4. Let me try and think how many things I would expect to be copying. So when I am on the 2 and I'm trying to delete 2, I would expect the 2 and the 3 to disappear. And then I would expect the 4, 5, and 6 to be copied into, yeah, I see what's happening here. The 4, 5, 6 to be copied into the place of the 2, 3, and the 4. And the problem is the 4 is kind of overlapping. And it kind of tells you in the mem copy stuff. This is kind of what happens. So what we kind of need to do is do something like this. Which we could potentially do in a little loopsie, actually. So if we kind of start from there, which is where that last one ended, and then we less than would now. Is that kind of what we want? Because this is like when we subtract 1 off, but we are not subtracting 1 off at this point here, which something like that. I don't know. And then what we kind of want to do is we want to like mem copy. So we want to mem copy, and we do kind of want to copy into a thing. And we want to go. So this is maybe a different loop is calling out to me. So that kind of means that this is going to be the source X is going to be, and perhaps I might even make a size key source X equals, and the source is going to be where we're taking it from. So this is going to be buffer cursor dot X plus param. Now I feel like we could have dest X equals this, and this is actually going to be I, and then this source X is just going to be dest X plus param. Feel like that's what it is. And then here we can have source. This is going to be dest X actually, dest X there, and then we can go here, and then here we can there and paste that there, and how much we want to get is it's going to be the one, so we just want to get one thing from there, and I think that kind of makes this whole thing kind of moot. So if we kind of redraw that, we can't do that. So what doesn't it look like here? Okay, then. What if we just do some pointer arithmetic like that? Also, this should become false, and maybe do that, and then get that, and then do a plus there, and then we'll find that, and then let's get rid of that. And is that all right? That's all right, but getting now, was this because it was pointing to the same place? I wonder. I'm just interested. It was because it was pointing to the same place. So this error, it's because we're restrict. It's a restrict argument because yeah, you're just meant to know. But yeah, I'll do this this way, I guess, because it kind of works. So if I have this and I try and delete two of the things, it doesn't do much. It does some set freeze, but then I guess we need to clear after the thing, and there would have been something in that. So I was lucky that it was only that far back. There's like history trees. I should kind of read up on that. But yeah, it reckons we should have done this. So perhaps I'll just kind of wrap that and then we can do that. So we need to make sure we clear the end after we do it. So if we kind of fill that upwards and things, and we kind of delete two things. It did some things. So what I kind of want to do is make sure that this is doing the right thing. So if we get this sort of thing, so where do we want to start clearing the cells from? We do kind of want to get the X pass param. I think that is correct. And what if we, instead of that there, we just do one momentarily and kind of comment out there, and then we can kind of fill up to the screen, and then maybe delete one. So it's getting the right point, but where it's trying to put it to is not right. So what about, is it just param? Is that what it is? So if I delete 2, then I kind of shift 2. Now I need to kind of shift it. I also need to shift it right at the end of the screen. And I think I want to kind of get a collection of maybe C, D, E, kind of something like that. And so now if I delete just one, it deleted quite a lot. But that's because I had this mem set. But it moved the B down. But maybe if we do this, A, B, C, D, E, and we can wait one thing. So it moved the B, and it didn't do any mem set because we took that out. And I feel like it should have moved the B and the C and the D and the E and the space and the space and the space and the space. So this isn't quite right. This should be something like buffer with minus program. Is that kind of what I want to see? A, B, C, D, E. And then if we escape and delete one thing, it shifted everything over. That is, I think, what I kind of want to see. And now to do kind of the rest of my test is if we kind of have a string of stuff here, it should, and maybe we'll have like a kind of, it's kind of weird that it does that if we kind of get to it from there. Yeah, like if I push back one, it thinks it's like on a line wrap. So if I push, let's see, I don't know. I don't even know what's happening. But yeah, so I think if I delete one now, it should open, well, I would hope that it would open up a slot at end, but it won't at the moment. So that is what kind of wanted to do. I'm not sure those A's moved as well. So it's currently on the 3. Does it move? It moves to the 2. Yeah, so it just doesn't kind of do the mem set at end. So where should the mem set start? It currently starts I guess it should start at this width minus param, add on that, and then we'll see how much we want to kind of delete off it. So A, B, C, D, E, we can have like maybe a couple of spaces and then something like that. And then maybe one more. I'm not sure what I did there. I pushed like maybe C, D, E, alpha level quality. So it's not quite ready. So if we do that and very carefully push some keys and delete one thing, cool, it shifted one thing over, but we lost our kind of sentinel value. So we are doing too many mem sets, I guess. And so it did one set free, and it did this. Why did we lose? Why did we lose it? It was interesting. I mean, I guess it must be in this. So, how much do we want to set? I think here I actually want this to be, we only want to move around things, shift that many things down. So if we have something like that, and I don't know, do something like that, carefully go here, and if I delete one thing, cool, the X is there, and everything kind of shuffles down. If I delete, maybe say 3 of these things, we should get the E, and the L's should end up on like 1 and 2, and that looks right, and the X is still there. So I am confident that this is now working. So maybe we can kind of get rid of that. It's a bit of a kind of thing here. And we kind of use this buffer minus width a few times. So I think what I could do is to move equals, and then this can be to move, and then that can be there, and then we can kind of have a few little things. And so this now kind of can get shuffled over here, and it kind of splashes out into that, and then this this one, yeah. So if we change that to then we don't have that. And I wonder if we just do the one line there, and we just do that. Cool. So the I thought this would have got me here. Now the trick is whether it works with the bash. So if I go up a few things, it seems to be kind of working if I kind of go up a few things. And I think I noticed it more when I did that. I feel like this is kind of working. Right, so it doesn't like that reverse search. Maybe I'll try and get that. This is an SDR RAM. I wonder which one it is. 3. So I find this fancy code kind of nice for the CSR SDR. So 3 is italic. Interesting. It's kind of interesting because, like, I don't even know what it would look like. So what we can do is kind of simulate some things. So if we could probably make a STR function in Bash, and so I did some things STR. Printf, and so what this is going to take is we're going to take that, and we're basically going to take a bunch of numbers, I guess, and a character, but the character is always going to be n. So I think I want to do something like this, and then I kind of want to do something like this. Hear me out. and then we go shift. Here we kind of do a $1, and then we can go shift. And here we can go printf that, and then we can kind of explode out whatever is left. And then we can go printf M. And like, can we flush things, or does that kind of just flush itself? So it's a bit weird, but it kind of means that we can kind of do stuff like that. Like maybe we do 2 colors like this, and we get like a kind of interesting hue. And we can do stuff like this, and we can see what that hue is like. And what we could do is almost kind of pull us into this cat. So we can end it with that. We could pull us into a cat so we can kind of see what the output is. And then we can, at the end, we can kind of just reset everything. Like so, and then here we can kind of just go str that, and that's the mode room. And perhaps I won't do this that one, and then that is the mode room. Cool. And so at 1 and 3 was that the italic. So this is what italic looks like on my computer, and to give context, that's what it looks like normally, which I don't know. Maybe I could push in a few different things. That's that. And if I do that same thing, exactly the same. I don't know, they look identical to me. So what I can do is in this thing, we can have str, we can vstr. Maybe I'll do a commit because I feel like I added that the delete character. So git commit delete character. And it seemed to have worked with Bash, so I'm happy with that. So when we have str stuff, we have, I kind of want to bring things down a little. We have str, cool. How do we deal with that? We kind of deal with it with attributes. So we're just calling attributes. Yeah. Yeah, so what we can do is just kind of do this and find that, and I help and find that, and maybe we'll do that one instead. I tell it potentially that it's done. So how it works, and this is it kind of passes through whatever I kind of do. So I can do that, and it kind of adds up some things. That's that time. Ignore some things that just pop up. The reason is because it's a holiday day. Now, it's kind of interesting that it reckons the cursor is over there, but it also reckons the cursor is over here. There's some guttering issues. And we like kind of send the mouse, but Bash doesn't care about it. Is that something we do all the time? It's there because of 100. That is a 100 marker, and we kind of held it more. That's a 200 marker. So that is what that is. What was I saying here? There was kind of interesting. So I guess I've done I've added italics. So like get diff won't do colors because it thinks it's not a terminal or something. And like maybe I'll try and figure out the most minimal way to make things think I'm a terminal. I don't really like the whole term cap idea. So there's like a, a term cap. We're not allowed to ban in there, but we look at a term cap. There's like a whole database. And so like if you have a look at stuff, there's all the things. So like I'm currently running ST. Well, I'm actually currently running like this. This is the term info, not the term cap though. But I feel like it's the same. That is quite binary, but yeah, it is what it is. Cool. So it died for some reason. Oh, that was when I ran man. I mean, that could be like another thing that I can try and get unknown control function 80. So what we can do is I kind of like this one. So there'll be 8/0, and this is the C1. The C1 didn't really have a good set in this document, but 08 might have it. So yeah, it just reckons it's that. Cool. What about this one? This is like in the one. That's just a double up of that. So I mean, this is like part of the character set one, the control set. There's like a RI, which is part of it, I believe. Yeah, that's like 813. So yeah, so we don't really show it in here. But perhaps in this document I can search for index, maybe matching the case. That's just the eliminating control function. We're not really searching for this, but that didn't really find it. What if I do like 8/4 04? Him. Right, so what were we looking? It was 8.0. It's just this mystery function. And what one did this have? This had like kind of some lookups. It didn't really have the control things. like 8. Yeah, it's all like if you kind of start with can escape in all of them. Yeah, I think that this mode's better for like as some of the other kind of escape things. Right, how do I find out what Bash is wanting me to do on a 8.0 kind of C1? Wiki kind of did have ones for C0 codes, and perhaps we can kind of link to um, like yeah, so control codes. Here we are. Cool. So this might be able to tell me a bit more. C1. The first one is pad. Cool. Proposed is padding. Cool. I'm not sure I know how to kind of implement that just out of the bat. So that was B, was it? Not part of, yes, not part of ECMA. 48, which is like this. Yeah, ECMA 48. I can see that. Cool. So if that's the case, what I might do is click on control functions, and we can find these ones, and we can just go H0, and what do we want to do? We want to call it padding character. Pad doesn't bring a key, padding character, and here we can maybe just go here and to do, and this is going to be pad, and I don't really care about implementing it, but we can kind of get it out of the way so it kind of doesn't complain that and that was running man, wasn't it? Yeah, so we still can't do things. Cool. Now it's getting into the weeds of this DCS immediate. Now this is stuff I haven't really dealt with before, but so in here you have this DCS entry, which you can enter with a 50, and if we kind of look at what I'm not sure what that kind of does it off the bat. But if we look at what the character of 50 is, it is a P. So if you have escape P rather than escape that. So if I did the other one, which is 5B, 5B, you'll see that's the square bracket that I've been using for the CSI functions quite a bit, and that's the CSI entry on the 5B. But here we got the 5.0 into the DCS entry, and I have no idea what is meant to happen in this. And so, yeah, this document might kind of have some things. So it's usually ended by string terminator. So I guess like we do actually have to kind of collect arbitrary long amount of data. So we can use the array for that, or linked list or something like that. All right. I love how this guy was actually playing around with actual software on an actual hardware and testing it. I'm just kind of testing it using a yeah, it's not quite the same. So DCS, yeah, I just this didn't really have a definition of the DCS ones and the actions. Did we have so what was the key that was it was P, so escape P device control string. Cool. Right, so they're using how is it defined? Who, where are the functions for it? It's apparently in this. Cool. Got that open. We had DCS. I guess we could search for DCS plus control string. Perfect. Device control string. All right. Goes onto a terminator. Interpretation of it is not defined by the standard. Cool. So it kind of is just this magic stuff here. So what was it like DCS? Do you have anything here? Got a few things, right? So device control functions. This kind of does list some, so perhaps I can make use of this. But I guess this is a different issue. So it's kind of we can perhaps kind of have a look at the full payload. So we get this sort of thing. At some point we get a line feed, then we get a control pad, which is like the 80, I think it was. So the E2 got used as a line feed, but that's because like when you're in that high zone, it kind of pulls down, I believe. Right, and then we get 90, which is the BCS entry. And then here we have a new line and then lots of spaces. I wonder like what is the point of these? And it kind of has it a few times. So it's clearly like a how would we get that? Like going to a man. Yeah, so it's when you go to a man. I wonder if I care too much about that. Right, so Vim doesn't like running because it doesn't think it's a terminal. Reckons standard out is a terminal. That's interesting. CSI function at I don't know. It's all kind of jumping all over, but so it also has a 40. So if we search for 4/0, an F kind of makes sense. Is that right? No, we're reckoning at. So oh, that's just saying whatever the final character is. We're just at the bottom of it. Right, so this is the SP. Cool. I feel like I'm in the weeds. Right, this is actually what I want. Insert character. It's only available in these high level ones. So inserts one or more space characters starting at the cursor for position. And inserts that many blank characters with the normal character attribute. So I guess like that can just be, we can just set everything. I feel like we can just set everything after kind of freeing everything and kind of seeing what happens. Yeah, what's text between moved to the right. So because we're in we're inserting stuff, so we have to move stuff to the right, and anything that would move past it gets lost. So it's kind of the insert of the delete characters. I feel like it's quite appropriate to implement now. And how did I reproduce that? That was trying to do like that, and then like so like that kind of worked. But then when I kind of went back and changed that kind of did that. Right, and that's because we're like inserting a space to then post it out. Yeah, I think that kind of makes sense. So CSI 40. So let's get rid of that and CSI functions. So 40 right at the start. So we can get that, and that is that. And what function does it call? ICH. The key, I haven't seen any key that kind of matches it. And this is going to be insert character, and then like maybe do that. And what do we want to do when we insert character? We have a delete character, so perhaps I can just do that, and then do that, and then insert character. This is kind of like a little weird, and the default is 1. And so we don't want to subtract anything. The default is just 1. And so delete cursor. Well, yeah, so delete character just took the 1 argument, to be honest. So what we need to do is do that and find that insert, and then if we find this, then find the 0, and then we just want this. Right, so now we can kind of just chill out down here. It's going to be maybe similar to this, so maybe I'll just kind of paste it as is for now. So if we are wanting to if we're wanting to insert lots of spaces, like what if we're inserting more spaces than the width allows? This doesn't really specify that, does it? This kind of seems like it doesn't have a margin though, so I feel like taking the assumption that if you have oh yeah, so ICH has no effect outside of scrolling margin. So I feel like that kind of makes sense. If we insert, say, 2 tons width, it wouldn't insert 2 lines. It just kind of go to the end. So if we do that, then this statement kind of still holds true. So we have to do some freeing. So I might just kind of clear that one. We have to free the characters that would be kind of pushed off the right. So pushed off the right would be kind of this function. Is that right? So we're inserting a bunch. Yeah, we just want to. This is going to be with, I guess, but it's going to be with minus param. And here we're going to make sure we're only going up to width. And perhaps this should be -1. No, this shouldn't be -1, I feel. Yeah, we'll always get 1, and if we're inserting 1, then something has gone off the end. So at that point there, we probably just want to keep that. So how many things do we need to move? And the moving is kind of moving in the other direction that we're kind of moving up. And like this mem set is kind of also kind of brilliant. So to move is kind of just param, isn't it? So this is going to be param. And so I feel like this can be that, and then this can be that, and then like something like that. So the source is going to be whatever's at the end of all the spaces that you're inserting. And well, where am I wanting to move? I'm wanting to move whatever's at my point further on. I kind of want to make sure that the dest is further on, and how many things it's going to be further on is going to be the param. And I is going to start off 0. So this is basically going to start at the cursor, go up param things, and shift along by param things. And then I think this kind of can stay the same. And so this to move thing, basically if param, so if param is 0, then this will be width, so this would never run. If param is 0, then this would never run. So I think this just needs to be if param, and then what do we need to set? So we need to set the things that are currently at the cursor. That's not quite what I wanted. I wonder if we can just like kind of go back and hope that nothing kind of broke. So we kind of just need to get rid of that, and it'll be something like that. So taking from the cursor, set it all to 0, and we read it up here, doing that, and that's freeing. We kind of need to free the things that we're setting here as well. So yeah, we kind of need two things. No, we don't. Yeah, so we first free the things that are going to drop off the edge, and then we're moving things up, and we're just copying everything, including the attributes. And then now we're freeing the stuff that is kind of left behind, but it's got a duplicate reference to all the attributes. So we can just set it, and that is what it is. And we want to do this per random time. So I feel like that is kind of accurate. So cool, that's insert character. It'll probably fail because we've added thing. Now we've done it, and we can potentially kind of play around with that. So if we kind of have a few things, we can remember what this is. And yeah, cool. We inserted a character. We didn't shift everything up like I thought would be the case. So if we have that, if we insert character, it's not actually pushing everything up. So here, what I want to make sure is why we're not pushing everything up again. So the dest is going to be then it does that. Maybe I'll kind of comment out one, just see. Cool. So it doesn't kind of. That's just that. If we kind of do this. So this also kind of means that at the end, I kind of want to make the screen a little bigger. So at the end, it should kind of clear up a space, but not at the moment. So so if we go here and do that, it didn't quite do the right clearing at the end. But I wonder if that's because this mem set wasn't done quite right, and that's because of the mouse. Cool. So if we kind of do that, right. So the n is on 6. So if we delete one thing, it kind of isn't getting the right place, is it? So, this param, this check here isn't quite right as well. Like it should. It should really be cursor.x plus, which really is the same as this minus upper cursor.x. And so this whole thing is going to be whatever I name there. And what do I want to delete, I guess. And here this can be to delete, and then here that's going to be that sort of thing. I think that's kind of what I want. And that's likely going to be a similar check there. But this is perhaps not. oh no, you do kind of want to get the difference. And so if we are trying to insert more than we can, we should stop. Yeah. Cool. Done a few changes. So what I might do is do that, and it's on the 4. And if we do that, and I didn't really change anything to stop it doing that wrong one at the end. So, and that was done in this kind of check here. So we know that param at its most would be this thing here, which would be that thing minus that, which would kind of cancel out the width, and it would have a positive x. So it basically starts at x. Now, is that kind of what I'm thinking? I feel like that's roughly what it is, but then like if it's less, I wonder if it should be this, which I've realized I haven't really checked stuff on the second line. Not the second line, the cool. So that cleared my thing. I'm not sure if it did any shifting. A's on the 3, so A's still on the 3, so it hasn't really this hasn't really kind of fired off as I would expect. I think this I kind of want to be like that, perhaps. Cool. So let's get maybe the x's on 0, and then we can kind of do that. Cool. We broke a thing. So heat buffer flow, we tried to read 40 in mem copy, and it was to the end of our cells, I guess. Cool. So perhaps I want to do check of we're doing a mem copy, and it's going to be a pointer, and size, and we can have that. And here, this is actually kind of nice and handy. So just kind of do that, and then we can kind of see what it's up to. It doesn't like that because things aren't right. I always forget this. Yeah, so we just want that. So if we kind of have a few characters, starts on the 8, I guess, and here we can cool, wrong thing to do. So we can maybe have something start on the O, the 0, as some may call it, and then we can do something like that. Cool. So that just breaks. But what are we trying to do? We're trying to mem copy 40, which I feel is it should just be 1 byte. Cool. So this mem copy, I wonder if we have some better kind of XY coordinates, perhaps. But we can see here that it's reading 40, and that 40 is before Right, and this source death, this is 40 before where we're trying to write it. So yeah, it is trying to kind of write things that can actually stay. That's just a tail. It's trying to write things before where the whole thing started. So I feel like this was correct, like that. It starts on the one, and here we can just do something like that. Starts on the one. So this param isn't right. So the perhaps we want something like that. No, I don't want that. So this is size T to copy. This is going to be, we don't want to copy the one. So if we just copy one, which is copying one thing, we want to copy the remaining width. So this is going to be buffer width. And we're going to also subtract off the buffer parser.x, which is just the same as to delete, I notice. And we're also, once we have that, that's the remaining difference. And of that, is that just what we want to? No, this is. This is more like that sort of thing. So it's going to be the remaining and minus param because we are inserting param things. So we kind of want to have whatever is remaining minus those params that kind of shifted off and knocked off. Cool. And then this, I think, we just change to that, and then it probably just works. So if we start something on the O, and then we can have another line. So it was on the O. It changed a lot of things to L's. That's not right. So yeah, changed a lot of things to L's, and I can see what's happening here. So we kind of want this to copy minus I minus one. That minus one can go on the end. Yeah, so I think it needs to have that plus the like max, and that's going to be like the minus one, and then we subtract off whatever it is, and then the depth is just going to be what it is. And so cool, if we do this and we do that, we're on L, and if we kind of have some things here, maybe delete from here, and it shifted it up by one. Cool. And like if we do it on here, it doesn't do any like weird things. If we try and do two, it does the right thing. Cool. And so I kind of want to make sure that we have the right kind of nonsense here. So this one was one that I kind of wanted to look at, this probe. So what I did here, which perhaps can be seen a bit easier, is if we're on the last line, we have some stuff goes to the end, and if we try and delete a character that is now causing this ASAN. So we didn't actually get the case that right. So what we're doing, we're reading, and that's right at the end. So we're kind of reading one more than we're meant to, and that was in the delete characters, and that was, did it give a line number where the mem copy was? It was mem copy 1561. So that is this mem copy here is the only mem copy in this function. So yeah, so this is getting too much. I wonder if this is not meant to be, yeah, so I feel like this, I've lost my mouse. I wonder if this is meant to be to move. We'll try that. We'll keep that. So we can have like just a normal line, as some things, and at the end, if you do that, if you delete a character, it deleted everything. That shouldn't have happened. So we don't want that. But yeah, you see it kind of pulled up the comment when I did that. I wonder if this should be around -1. It seems not right. Maybe C, D, F, to do the F. And so if we have a bunch more there, and that starts on the O, so if we, that wasn't quite right. So we were deleting a character. I would have expected things to kind of copy right. C, D, F, and we can start on the O for a bunch of stuff, and then up there. And if we delete the character, it kind of shifts everything back. It doesn't take the and this, if we delete it, just see faults. So if you're on that last line, it does not like that. So perhaps I need to kind of do that F printf. You know what I'm going to remember? I'm going to remember, say it's to standard error. And what are we going to print here? We're going to print pointer, a pointer, and a size. And we can do that. And then here we can just kind of add in that it's going to be a void pointer, otherwise things complain. So reproduce, we can just do that same thing. Interesting, it didn't break on the first, like the first. So it kind of does everything up into that point. And so, yeah, this C3O is at the end. C3O is at the end, so we don't want to do this one. Wonder if we want that. So would param could be this. So at the max, it will be that, and we'll be subtracting off the width. So it would be basically x -1, which should be legit because x is 1 based. And then we would be moving nothing, which kind of makes sense if we kind of reach that. endpoint. So now if we do that, that kind of worked. If we're on the second row, that kind of work. Now, does it work with actual things? We'll have a couple at the end, and I go back here, and if we delete that, that seemed to work. Cool. What if we insert, cool, that is working, and it's kind of just pushing things off, though it seemed to push it off early. Like there is a 40 column that it could be going in, this column here. So it's not quite inserting quite enough. Yeah, so is this plus one? We want to copy that many things. A, B, C, D, E, F, and I don't know, do something like this. That can be my test for that. And if we insert a thing, cool, that looks about right. If we insert a thing, that looks about right. A, B, C, D, D, F, and we can kind of start there, and we can have a few things at the end. And we get down here and insert, that look right, insert, that look right, insert, that look right. And if we try and delete that, that was kind of weird that it had that. So if we are deleting, this is when we're deleting, we don't delete quite enough. Do I just want this to be that? And I think I can reproduce that. So that was where we're down here. And so that was when we were deleting. Yeah, so it's going the other way. So that isn't quite what I want. So we are wanting the mem set at the end. So the to move. So I feel like this -1 because we've kind of bought this to move to be a zero-based thing. I think we can find out. So we can kind of have some things here, and if we kind of do that, nah, it's not doing that when we're. So this is when we're deleting characters, and we're shifting it towards us. Kind of means that this, which I changed before, it needs to be like that, right? And then yeah, so it kind of things like that. And so if we kind of do that, and if we do that, that seems about right. Let's get rid of that one and print F, print F. We had one up here. we probably don't need any. Cool. So was that all? So Bash would work, or that was this project is slightly hard to remember the trigger instructions because when it crashes, it crashes. But I believe it was when we were in Bash, we could have, we're basically checking whether it is, I mean, I feel like this doesn't matter. We went up one, so we're kind of in line editing mode and we change it. And that was the point that it kind of crashed. And in here, we can probably see that it did, at some point, I mean, it did like a whole bunch of things, but had this insert character, which we just did. So that's kind of what it needed to do. Cool, so we didn't really do much. We have added insert character and fixed up delete character. So add insert char and fix the delete char on last line. And yeah, I think that's probably enough for me now because I am a little tired. Talking is a little tiring, if you talk reasonably non-stop for a few hours. But yeah, I feel like this was some decent progress. I kind of just pushed it all, but if we kind of look at that, so we had some stuff that was already done. We basically did this ZenMouse report in digit format, and that means we can kind of recurse ours down, and we can potentially run other things that pass for mouse in that particular way. Then we have delete character and insert and whatnot. Sounds pretty good. It's making progress. I keep saying that I want to work on the kind of logging. So like when you have this and I kind of typed in some things, or if I like move the mouse, I would kind of like it to have a I don't know how to I kind of want it to have like a side panel down here with like just all the log events that have happened. So like key events. So like I pushed key, I pushed enter, I pushed end, I pushed blah, the mouse moved here, the mouse moved here, stuff like that, and whether it gets forwarded to a child or not. And if it didn't get forwarded to a child, then like what does it do? Like in this mode, like perhaps when I click on a cell, I just want it to move to that cell, and it can be a shortcut for the there's a hop, 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 not hop, hop, cup. So cup, you can kind of move to things. So it's basically, I thought it was hop because of the H. But this will kind of move to a precise location on your kind of cell. So if I click, that could be a event that this kind of reads in and is like, oh, cool, I'll do that. It's a little, yeah, I might have to think about that. And you may have noticed I've started doing a bit more offline. It's gotten to the point where the functions that are getting added, they're reasonably short one-liners, and I'll probably only come to the videos when there's like substantial stuff that's interesting to talk about or do, or just to show general progress. Like perhaps if standard error is a TTY, I don't really want it to be printing. It's like it's not a hard change actually. It requires a little bit of thought. Like every place that you print, you wrap it with like a macro function that does that print for you or something. But yeah, thanks for watching if you've made it this far, and I hope you enjoy this weird and wacky project. Until next time, I'll see you.